Hey everyone, Shasta here, and in this video I'll talk about 5 things I want to see coming Dauntless in the recent months. Let's start the list off with an expansion of the weapon system. For a free-to-play open beta game, Dauntless already has a good arsenal of weapons. You have 5 melee ones and 1 ranged one, which do feel different when played. The problem comes in the in-depth of each weapon and the possible actions you can take while using it. The combos of all weapons are very few and are not situational. Most people will use 1 or 2 combos from the already few of them to complete every single kill in the game. I think that more attack combinations should be added alongside more attack buttons. Now, considering the game will be released on console, having 2 or 3 attack buttons with a button for evading and a special ability button feels perfect to me. Currently we have a primary and a secondary attack, but I think the system can be expanded into primary, secondary and ether empowered or light, medium and heavy attacks. Increasing the attack types by 1 will at minimum add 2 or more combos to each weapon's arsenal. Alternatively, you can make unique attacks for each weapon added. I know we have the special meters and some weapons have special attacks with them, but they do not feel very special and unique enough. Another idea in my head is to combine the evade roll into the combos of the weapons. Firstly, for again increasing the combo variety, and secondly to have mid-combo possibilities for evading. There's also the possibility to add more attacks following a mid-combo evade and adding more evade attacks overall to the game, similar to how the sword has an evade attack with its primary attack button followed, primary attack button after you evade. From the old roadmap, which has not been updated in a while, Phoenix Labs did plan to upgrade the weapon system, the combos and even add aerial combat. I have also been thinking about having a parry and a counterattack button, but I feel that it will not fit well into the Dauntless gameplay, and I think that having a specific new weapon added that works around counterattacking or attacking or taking incoming attacks and using them against the behemoths is it's a better idea overall than having a counter-attack button. Okay, number 2 on my list is the overhaul of the consumables and resource system. In the early stages of the closed beta, the game had way too many resources split around the different tiers of the game. It was really bothersome to gather all of them and use them to craft everything. New players might not know this, but we actually had to craft health potions back in the day, and there were different tiers of health potions. After open beta hit, the system got simplified and the resources were reduced by a lot, and the consumables crafted also took a hit. Currently, I have noticed that very few people use any tonics or other consumables during the fights. The first reason for this is that there is no big variety of them, and the second one is that not all of them are beneficial or impact the fights at all. My suggestion is to add at least 6 or 7 new resources to the game, and with them at least 10 more consumables in the forms of maybe grenades, tonics or something else. Having different defensive tonics such as pure armor ones and elemental resistance ones is something that for me the game needs, and they will find their uses, especially among the new players coming to the game. Number 3 on my list is traps or other gadgets. This is a hunting game and we're hunting behemoths. Where are all the traps that you have to use? I think they can introduce traps as an alternative to lanterns, and having the traps with the hold ability, which charges the same as a lantern, and a fixed quantity press button ability, which you have to craft and restock with resources. This will add an alternative way of fighting and approaching each behemoth. And traps are something in general which I'm talking about. The lantern can also be replaced by other gadgets you can choose from and combine with your gear to hunt, and you can also of course craft these gadgets or upgrade them differently based on the behemoths you have hunted and the resources you have gathered. Maybe we can have a trap which helps people interrupt behemoths, or something like a guard gadget you could use to temporarily protect yourself from damage. These are all suggestions which might sound like a good idea to some of you, and they might not sound good to others, but I would genuinely enjoy having more variety even in a raw form at the current stage of the game. Number 4, but probably among the first priority wise, is more behemoths which are on the level of Shroud and Rezakari. I'm glad we're getting a new behemoth almost on a monthly basis now. The problem, however, is that compared to Shroud and Rezakari, all of the new ones are hardly a challenge. I'm not saying they're bad, but rather that we need 3 or 4 more behemoths which pack a punch like the Umbro King and the Radiant Queen of Dauntless. And yes, I think Rezakari is a female, although developers have stated that the behemoths are gender neutral. Back on point, the game needs more endgame challenges on the table, and I do not mean harder versions of already existent behemoths, but original new hard ones. I also think that the Maelstrom should have different modifiers on heroic for different days or different islands. What I mean by this is to add a difficulty which you would not know about until you start the fight. For example, having 3 or 4 modifiers, at least for heroic behemoths, which can switch each time you fight him based on something random or not. Firebrand can have more defense to his part damage and his flames to last longer and deal more damage as a constant modifier, and on the side he can have some other modifiers like firing 3 lava balls instead of 1, or having more ether vents. I would call these mutation modifiers rather than normal ones. The idea of mutations would be that each behemoth will have something different each time you fight him. They can share mutations between different behemoths, like between Firebrand and Bloodfire, between Riftstalker and Shroud, and so on. Final suggestion on my list is to make the customization to the armor and weapons more expanded. I really like how the repeaters were made and the option of upgrading and customizing different parts of the weapon. I wish all the weapons can become like that. I know that a big drawback of this will be that the weapons will have to get a sort of a reset, and you will most likely have to farm them up from the top again, but I think it's a worthy sacrifice for adding more depth and customization to the weapons, as well as making them more versatile and give a uniqueness to each player when he goes into a hunt. The same applies to armors, but there I prefer having more colors and visual changes to be accessible. For example, you have a Shrike helmet and you can change the feather types on the helmet from feathers to claws or something else from the behemoth, or at least to simply have them more color options in different parts of the armor, because only 2 are kind of a little even if we have more than 40 colors available. That's about it for the things I want to see as soon as possible in the game. What do you guys think about it? Maybe you have something else you want to see, something fixed or something new, or maybe something that was planned but is yet to be added? Tell me what you think down below in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and be sure to check my other guides, walkthroughs and epic music that I make on my channel. You can find my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Instagram and Patreon links in the description down below, and if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon in order to get notifications. Shadow Strider out.